Pete Gluzak here, Bass University TV, here with my good friend and longtime Bass University instructor, John Cruz. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing wonderful, Pete. I'm doing wonderful, Pete. What do you want to talk about?
I want to learn.
Let's educate.
I want to learn, right? You know, you're innovative in a lot of your designs, and you've got one that's hot right now. Everybody's using it to catch fish. It's the Ned rig. Yep. They're using it all over the country. It's changing things. Guys are catching giants, winning tournaments. Guys that couldn't catch fish consistently are now able to do it. And let's talk about that rig a little bit.
It's a staple technique for finesse fishermen. And so with Missile, I said, we've got to get into this. And so what I did is I kind of analyzed, just like I do. I analyzed all the baits out there and how they're, how people are fishing them. Even though it's not one of my staple techniques. So then I designed the Ned bomb, and then I felt more obligated to learn the technique more, and I definitely have. And I don't feel like I'm an expert yet. I feel like I'm gaining on it. I feel like that's part of it. But the real big deal with the Ned rig in general is the size of the head. And it's all about the feel. And the size of the head, I mean, one of the most common sizes is a 1/20th ounce Ned head. But you don't fish a 1/20th ounce shaky head. You don't fish a 1/20th ounce drop shot. So like with a shaky head, you're throwing it out there, it's hitting the bottom, and you're dragging it, shaking it, pulling it across cover, making contact with the bottom. With a drop shot, you're kind of doing the same thing. You're throwing it out there, it's hitting the bottom. You're kind of shaking it and working it. Maybe you're moving it a little bit. Maybe you're dragging it sometimes. But the Ned rig is totally different. It is a lot different. You're throwing it out there. You're following the bait on the fall. I think that's a big key to it. You're following it on the fall. You get a lot of strikes on that initial fall because that slower fall, it just kind of slowly meanders down. And then once it hits the bottom, you're going to reel your slack up. Just lift your rod and let the bait kind of pendulum back down to the bottom. Reel up your slack, lift up, and kind of pendulum back down. There's different ways to fish it. You can throw it out there, and you can kind of slowly reel it to where sometimes it makes a little contact with the bottom. You can slowly reel it where it doesn't make contact with the bottom. There's different ways to fish it, but a lot of it has to do with the feel, just getting the feel of what that bait is supposed to feel like. And once you do, boom, boom, the bites just start coming like crazy.
That's amazing, and a lot of people are seeing it. Now, that super lightweight, the super finesse bait too, what I'm seeing and hearing from you is that probably a lot of guys are making the mistake of overworking that bait, working it like a shaky head.
Right.
But it's not that way.
Right, I honestly, I made the same mistake when I first started fishing it, is that I saw this little bait and I was like, oh, they do have sizes heavier too. So I was grabbing the heavier ones, and then I was taking those and throwing them out and trying to drag them like a shaky head. A, you break off a lot. B, you don't catch as many. You can still catch a few fish doing that, but you don't catch as many. When I started going a little lighter in general on your heads, I started catching more fish. I really like an 1/8 ounce. 16th ounce is good too, but I fish 1/8 ounce a lot, in a little bit deeper, and sometimes a 16th when they seem a little higher in the water column. But if you get that fall rate right, you'll actually catch a lot of fish on that initial cast if you're casting near where the fish are.
Well, you're kind of lying. I mean, let's talk about setup gear, because it's a little tiny bait, lightweight. What kind of line and what kind of rod are you using for this?
I thought that 6-pound test was going to be the deal. I thought it was a really light line, really small, finesse deal. And then I got Mr. Ned himself on the phone, Ned Cady.
You mean there's a guy?
There is a guy named Ned.
It's Mike Iaconelli. This is Bass U TV.
Here's what's awesome about Bass U TV.
You get the top instructors.
Real tools that help you catch more fish consistently.
And that's why you want to check out Bass U TV.
Join the Bass U family.
Welcome to Bass U TV.